Hi.
This is Natalia Antonova.
This is still Anna Arutunyan,
and
amazingly
we are
enough.
still the ladies in Putin's Russia.
Not the wenches. So today we're having a little bit like of a reading rainbow type skit, except of course, since we're in Russia, it's not going to be the rainbow, it's going to be more like the reading dark cloud of doom and destruction.
Yes.
Yes, I think Anna agrees.
And we were just thinking, like, if you're looking at Russia and what's happening here, you probably need somebody to take you by the hand and explain what's going on.
Basically, there's 2 books that you have to read.
A reading list.
It's a very short reading list, just 2 books. It's The Lord of the Rings,
yes,
that you have to read, and The Magus by John Fowles. Those are the 2 books you have to read if you want to understand Russia.
And why is that, Natalia?
By the way, John Fowles, I just have to have a small footnote here. John Fowles is more famous for The French Lieutenant's Woman.
Yes.
But he did write The Magus. So there you go.
We're not going to talk about The French Lieutenant's Woman. We're going to talk about
any of his other stuff.
Right. We're just going to talk about The Magus because that is a clear-cut case of the kind of mystification we see from a government that sees itself as sacred, so it feels that it not only has a mandate to,
She's rambling.
manage your resources,
She's
it has
rambling.
a mandate to manage your soul. So that's what...
Stop rambling.
Okay. So, Natalia, why Lord of the Rings? I mean, I know we've read this book since we were 13, but why now? Why Russia?
Okay, well, let me just explain something about Lord of the Rings. It's an epic. And, it's grand epic, and much like Russia is a grand epic in the making. It's always, it's like my old professor, Reynolds Price, used to say that maybe, shut up, maybe we are a story that God is telling himself, right? And that's a complicated concept, but I'm going to bring it back down to Lord of the Rings. There's this whole issue of story, and the story, it's not about, like, the little people, even though it really is about the little people, because of course the hobbits are the ones that make all the difference in Lord of the Rings. But it's about these different interactions, about bloodlines, about the kind of the balances of power, rather the imbalance of power that you kind of have in Middle-earth, and how society both degenerates and progresses. You know what I mean? That's and it has that whole. It has that whole black and white aspect to it that is
the
very...
children of light and the children of darkness,
yeah,
which is very tempting to see, like, the interplay here as children of light, children of darkness.
Yeah, there is that interplay, but eventually, as you see in The Lord of the Rings, you have the elves, the embodiment of light, and then you have the orcs that are the embodiment of all that's evil. But eventually, in Lord of the Rings, what you get is that the age of men begins, and men, as the book makes clear, men as in, like, humans, let's not be sexist here, by the way, they are, both light and darkness. They can go either way. And there's that important lesson in trying to understand Russia, because Russia is always trying to work out its own humanity. Is that too crazy sounding? I
think we've already established that we are 2 crazy women, so you're not going to, like, But anyway.
Please explain to me, because I'm stupid, as well to our readers who are smart, but who may not be in the know, what does the Magus have to do about life in Russia? Especially modern Russia. I want to hear about modern Russia. Because The Lord of the Rings is really so historic Russia more, I think. The Magus is more like present day.
Well, a similar concept, except that we're now entering the 21st century, and these ancient paradigms are still in play, but they've changed. So you mentioned this, this universe where you've got this god who's writing a novel, and that's exactly what John Fowles was about. Now, John Fowles was writing in the 60s, and this was the Cold War. I'm sure he didn't have Russia in mind. But what happens is you've got this again. It's this government that thinks itself
postmodern gameplay. Yeah, that's what you have. You have postmodern gameplay,
and what you have is a situation where a government, or people within the government who think that they are so incredibly smarter than the population that they are charged with managing, that you wind up, like, mystifying, like, they mystify themselves. There's a constant game of, am I lying, or are you lying?
And the masks come off, and then there's another mask underneath.
Yes.
Basically, like, can I just please I understand that we're getting into theory here, but, like, Lord of the Rings, everyone knows the storyline, but the Magus is like a more, less famous storyline. What happens in it is that a guy goes to an island, basically, a Greek island, then he meets this dude who starts playing games with him, just messing with his mind, bringing down, like, the Greek gods.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
supposedly,
play where
we're gonna have a play,
a Greek play,
but
but you're the
play
characters in it,
but the play is real, but the play is real,
But it's
then
not.
it's not real, but then it's actually different play, but then we're really in Nazi Germany, and then just like they just keep messing with him, messing
and
with
we're
him, messing
really,
with him.
yeah.
Yes.
And as we were writing stories about what the hell is happening around us, I mean, do we take this at face value? Do we take a layer off and look at, the Serdyukov scandal, the defense ministry reshuffle as, something else entirely? Is this somebody's idea of a joke?
Basically, as a journalist in Russia, you always have to ask this question: is someone playing a game with me? And you will never have a definitive answer.
And nobody
because
will.
Because even if no one is playing a game with you, the fact that the germ of the idea is already in your mind, and you're already interpreting everything as a game.
Exactly.
So you don't have to have secret agents after you, or just people trying to mess with you, in order for you to be in that mindset where everything is a game and everything's fake, and when the masks come off, there's more masks underneath, and that's going to make everyone go insane eventually, or perhaps
We
it
are
already did.
happy to have confused you, and we will be back to continue doing this if that's the kind of thing that you like.
Yes.
We were the ladies in Putin's Russia. We
That's-
still are.
That's it.
That's it.
Bye.